China hopes to be self-sufficient in every aspect of the global economy. As a result, China wishes to destroy the United States and become a powerful nation. Now let's watch the video to learn more about China's plans to destroy the United States. In LA, New York, and all other big cities, riots have begun as the US economy collapses. Is all of this a result of China's economy struggling? Not at all. Let's now look at how it might actually happen. There has been some hatred towards China in recent years if you've been reading the US news. If you've been following Chinese news, you are aware that there is terrible emotion on both sides. Propaganda will claim that the other side is to blame, no matter which side you're on. Americans are often warned that their way of life is threatened by Chinese communists. Countless headlines state that China is the biggest threat to US economic and national security, and possibly the largest threat to global order. But how does this war, so far a war mostly of words, end? That's hard to say. But one prediction we'll make right now is not well if someone does indeed cast the first stone, and we mean for both nations. The US without China's imports would mean some of you not getting the phones you want, or certainly not getting them at the prices you've come to expect. Since China and the US are close trading partners when it comes to clothes, you can find yourself going around without a phone while wearing very costly shoes. What about the $30 billion in commerce between China and the US agricultural sector? China is one of the main importers of US pork. Thus, if China's economy declined, the US pork industry would suffer. The same is true of maize. To purchase American maize, the US depends on China. In terms of soybeans, China receives 60% of all US soybean exports. Even though you would not realize so, a disruption in the maize of pork trade with China would result in many Americans losing their jobs. It would be chaos on a grand scale. At its core, the US-China conflict is a huge ideological conflict in a world where it is the only superpower, the hegemon, and has informally established itself as the highest representative of liberal democracy. The US wants the world to remain unipolar, which means that one superpower has uncontested control over the whole planet. As President Joe Biden said recently, this is a battle between the utility of democracies in the 21st century and autocracies. He's not wrong. This is a conflict in part about how countries are run, underpinned as always by economic interest. China wants a multipolar world in which the US does not play the big boss at the end of every level of global power games. It wants just as much power, influence, and money. China has been making significant investments all over the world since 2013 as part of its Belt and Road Initiative. It's made countless financial investments in about 150 nations, many of which have undoubtedly profited from significant infrastructural upgrades. China now has a great deal more influence in the world. This has been labeled neocolonialism by China's detractors. It's a kind of trap for poor countries that are now in debt to China, a nation that seeps into every nook and cranny of the world. China has been burned in the past, Xi Jinping tells them. So watch out, learn from what you have experienced. Those liberal Democrats pack a hard punch. They will stomp on you when you're down and desecrate your grave. He also reminds his citizens about China's century of humiliation, in which, starting with the British and their unscrupulous Opium Wars, the once technologically superior Chinese nation suffered blow after blow from the West, bringing it to its knees over decades of shame. This is why Xi Jinping has been adamant about integrating his nation into the world economy. He doesn't want history to repeat itself, and this is why the US media calls China's rise an existential threat, much more worrying than the threat from the poor old Russia. That's all for today. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one.